Welcome to Mental Health News Radio, the original podcast of the Mental Health News Radio Network. I'm your host, Kristen Sunanta Walker. I have been hosting this show for over 15 years, and over time, it's evolved from traditional interviews into something I like a lot better, real, free-flowing conversations. On this network and on my own shows, we have multiple hosts and voices across mental health, trauma, and addiction recovery, each bringing their own lived experience and expertise. Some of our most listened to conversations right now center around neurodivergence, including my own late diagnosis of autism and ADHD, along with many other topics that shape how we understand mental health today. I'm also a writer and mental health advocate, which I talk about here and across the network. I'm really glad you're here. Let's get into the conversations. Before we begin, I want to say something to our neurodivergent and autism community. On this show, I try to let people use their own language for their own lived experience. Mo describes himself, his autism, his mental health, his faith, and his art in his own words. That matters to me. Our language around autism keeps evolving, and that evolution is important, but so is making room for people to speak from where they are, how they speak, and what feels true to them. Hi, everyone. I have such a great guest today. He's been on multiple shows on the network a few times, and we're doing an update now that we talk so much about neurodivergence. Mo, please say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, my name is Mo Mansur. My full name is Motesem Mansur. I'm an artist with autism. I'm also an author, and I have autism and I have dual diagnosis of mental illness along with it.
And why was it important? Well, you've been on so many shows, but why was it important for you to do an update of shows? And how long has it been? Has it been a couple years?
It's been about 7 years.
Oh my God, longer than a couple. Yeah.
7 years, yes.
I think you were on with Joe, who used to be my editor, and then you were on with Melanie, who used to be my assistant.
Yes.
So why was it important for you to give everybody an update?
Well, I just want everybody to know that I'm in a better position than I was before. When the first taping occurred, I was in a very bad situation. I was in a studio that didn't care about me. I was in a nursing home that didn't care about me. So when I left the nursing home and I left the studio, I was so happy. And I wanted an update about, they're wondering, whatever happened to that guy? Whatever happened to the guy? He was at this nursing home and he was suffering and he was talking about how hard it is and his brother's not getting along with him and all that. So then I just wanted to update it because I figure if you update it, they'll say everything is either better or worse, or it's actually much better.
Yeah, talk about that. Like what did it that made you start feeling better?
Well, first things first, I had to leave prior the prior home at Aperion Care. This is in Midlothian, Illinois. Now, in Midlothian, Illinois, they were harassing me. They were really bad and they were very mean. So I took this initiative. I said, I don't have to stand for this anymore. And I decided just get hospitalized, go to a hospital and transfer to Lakefront Nursing Home. And I felt better ever since.
So what do you do there? You stay there as a resident, and you're also an artist in residence, right?
I stayed there as a resident. I'm an artist in residence. And also talking about the studio that I used to work for that no longer employs me. Well, fortunately, I don't have to work for them anymore. So I was very happy.
Yeah, that's the theme, isn't it? When you know this and you are dealing with this and you can get into situations or be put into situations where you are not being properly cared for.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing, you get rid of toxic things in your life. Anything
Yeah.
that's toxic, you get rid of it. And so in 2023, I decided to donate my artwork to Intuit. I decided to donate my artwork to Intuit, and it was a good idea. And they said, "Yeah, sure, we can donate your artwork to Intuit." And they were really good. It's called Intuit Art Museum. They are really good.
Yeah, where is that? And tell me about that museum, because a lot of
That's in
people are going to hear
Chicago, Illinois.
into it and they think of a software program, and that's not what you're talking about.
No, this is the Intuit Art Museum in Chicago, Illinois. This is 756 North Milwaukee Avenue. I'm not sure about the zip code. It has on the description, it has a zip code, but it's a fun place. I like it. And I donate my artwork through mailing. I mail to the museum and they basically sell my work. And
Wow.
it's for charity. It's entirely for charity. I don't have to worry about collecting any money. I just do it from the behalf, kind of my art. I do it for charity. Yes,
How does it make you feel to be able to put your work out like that and know that it's being seen and experienced?
makes me feel happy. Makes me feel very, very happy. And this is it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my art career to be an outsider artist because I was always an outsider, and to actually I convinced them that my bookmarks are going to be very good. My drawings are buildings and stuff like that. I convinced them, and they were very convinced. At first, they were restrictive about what to bring, and then later they were more broad. They broadened their horizons. They're like, "Yeah, you can absolutely bring in big work. You can absolutely bring in the tall towers." It was fun. I enjoy it, and the customers at the place are amazed by my work, and it's every year my work is almost sold out. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
They did.
How do you tell everybody just so they have an idea, because I would never be able to explain what your work is and do it justice. So how can you or can you explain what's the medium that you're in and what kind of things do you create with your art?
Well, I create fantasy worlds, a ton of fantasy worlds. Sometimes they have trains. No, recently they have trains, but they're just buildings with the lush gardens and stuff. And I use marker and pen. Sometimes I do it in black and white. I do pen only. I,
There's so much texture and detail. I could almost see your work being turned into tiles.
yes, absolutely. Those mandalas, those mandolins, those floral mandolins are very good, and
Yeah.
they're a hit. They are a hit. They love it. They really love it. And what I do is I start with the eight corner flower, eight corners. Sometimes I can do six corners. I can do five, but I like to do eight. Eight corners to a flower because of the symmetry regarding the matter.
Where do you have the space to do this where you're at?
I'm in my room. I practically do it in my room.
Wow. Because some of your
Yeah,
pieces are big.
yeah, and practically do that. And my roommate talks to me. I'm drawing, and my roommate keeps talking to me. I'm like, that's fine. I can multitask. It's not a problem. I
Okay,
love it.
now you need to do this, right? To keep you regulated, you need to pump out this art, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Same.
I do.
Same. I'm the same way about writing. I don't care I love it if people read it and they get so much out of the writing. Of course, I love that, but I would have to do it even if that didn't happen. I would have to do it. I do it now for free.
Yes.
I if I got paid for it, that's fine, but
Mhm.
I really like the idea of what they're doing in Ireland. Have you heard about this? Where
I haven't
they
heard about it. You
Oh
can
my
tell me
God.
about it.
Okay, so get this. It feels like what you do, except it's not as formal, or this is more formal than what you do. But
Mhm.
Ireland decided to set up a thing where they would pay artists 1,500 euros a month,
Hmm.
and that covers their materials and all these other things, and gives them more of a stable lifestyle. And they produce art, and then they give it to the cities, or they
Wow.
sell it or whatever. It's a new thing that they started in a very small window, a small area, and then it expanded because it did so much for society as well as the artist.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know when, if ever, that would happen in the United States, but what a way to support the arts and also support
Yes.
the artist, and to give you that stability so that you can just create, because we can't not do it.
Right. Exactly.
So before,
Exactly.
how long did it take you? Like, how long have you been creating like this? How
I've
old?
been creating artwork since I was 20 years old.
Okay, so before 20. How did you get out your inner world?
Well, I used to pace around and talk to myself very much, and it was not healthy. But I could when I was 16 years old and I was in the hospital, I remember this woman, this girl that was also 16 years old in the hospital that was drawing very, very well. She drew very, very well. She's a great artist. Her name, I'm not going to mention her name, but I'm just going to be confidential about it because
Yeah.
this was in a hospital setting. But she was a wonderful artist, and that inspired me that inspired me to draw. She inspired me to draw. And the thing is I started 4 years. I was thinking, should I do this or should I not? And I was doing it very barely, if ever. 20 years old, I got into the habit of art making on a regular basis, and it was much better. I think it was rewarding. It was very rewarding to my soul.
Yeah. Yeah, there when we have minds like these, we have to have an outlet for it. And I've just been thinking a lot lately about how we have so much inside.
Yes,
And I know for me, before I really got into writing, I didn't have the ability to do it until I got diagnosed. I don't know if I shared that with you, but I just couldn't write the way that I do now that I'm diagnosed and I know what my wiring is. I really could not focus enough. But now that I know, it's like oxygen for me. I have to do it.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So for you in doing this, tell me about if you're having issues in your life, right? Like at the other place that you were at and where you really didn't like it. I'm sure you created your way through that, right?
Absolutely, I did.
So
I
what
did.
does your art look like when you are really processing things that are not comfortable?
Well, it looks stressful. Looks like it was a lot stress oriented. It looks a lot of corporate stuff. So it's like basically doing a lot of things for money, figuring money would come from me from the place that I live in. And it's not the case. Money's not going to comfort this. You got to leave out of there. That's the thing. But when I was drawing, I used to draw a lot of traumatic pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of pictures that were of my traumas of the past. But I stopped drawing them because I realized while I was in the nursing home or while I was anywhere, they're all hallucinations. They weren't really trauma. It's kind of weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I was being hurt by so many people, but the way it was skewed with my voices and stuff like that, and my hallucinations and my delusions, it turns out it never happened.
The traumas were happening in terms of the where you were living, but
Yes.
those were like emotional traumas.
Well, there. Let me get this announcement.
That's
Well,
okay. Everybody knows you're in an open space and we're doing
yes,
this live, so
yes.
whatever.
so, so anyway, I can say this: it's like some of our traumas in the past and present, and even at the facility, events have occurred. It's my viewpoint about the event that makes the thing either worse or better. It's what I think about it. It's what I
Hmm.
think about it, and what I think they say about it, and what I think they do about it. It's not always what I think. You kind of have to do some reality testing, plenty of reality testing, a lot of reality testing. And that was one thing when I was in a bad position. When in my prior interview, I was talking about my childhood days. I said I was being raped by 24 different women or something like that. But now when I look at this and I'm saying this is wow, I must have been in a bad spot.
Do you feel like your mind was trying to process the things that happened to you and that turned into that kind of vision in your head?
Yeah, it was really weird. It was like I come across and there's a lot of people, there's a lot of women that like me. I admit that, but I didn't expect me myself to think that that happened. So when I was in that nursing home, that mindset was skewed to a big degree.
And it was really in reaction to how you were being treated there, right?
Absolutely, yes.
God, it's so important for people to understand what happens in our minds, and that for us that is so real because our emotions are so freaking big.
Yes, because schizophrenia it's a very tough illness. It's a very tough illness. You can't play with schizophrenia for too long because it will it will distort your mind. That was the thing about me. I have the bipolar disorder and the schizophrenia. They call it schizoaffective disorder.
Right,
But the thing is, it's like you have the thought disorder and then you got the emotions along with it.
right.
Yeah, the mood disorder. So it's even worse. So it's kind of hard for me to look at all these things and say, well, I could talk about my childhood, and I was like, my childhood wasn't that bad. It wasn't. It wasn't as bad as others people. It was probably more lenient than some people thought. And they talk about things like that, but when those hallucinations start coming in, where somebody's telling you things and you're reciting it back, and you're like, I said, I don't agree with this anymore. And I just said that I don't agree with these hallucinations anymore. I don't think these hallucinations are telling me something that's right. That's right. I don't think these hallucinations are really telling me the right thing. You know
Hmm.
what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I do. I do. What did your physicians say about those, the therapists and stuff you're working with? What did they say about those things at the time? Because the reason why I say this, Mo, is because a lot of people that have these kind of struggles with mental health,
Yeah.
sometimes really bad shit does happen, and then
Yeah.
you have to wade through what is my imagination doing and what actually really did happen that was traumatic, and how do I figure out what the hell was in my mind and what was actually really happening.
I was able to piece together with some therapists what truly happened.
Wow.
I pieced it together. It was like really interesting. It was like, wow, these women were liking me. But they couldn't control their impulses, and they basically did whatever they did. But I thought it was wrong or some way. I didn't know. Now when I think about it, I'm like, okay, so you got a bunch of women that really liked you when you're sitting somewhere, and they just did whatever they did. So to me, I pieced that together because there's some people talk about PTSD.
Right.
When you're a 5 year old child, 6 year old, 7 year old, it's probably more overwhelming than it is. When you're an adult, you probably might view it a different way than you do when you're a child. When I was 5 year old kid, I viewed it as a kind of a weird thing. I was a 5 year old kid. I was fortunately I could tell you those things happening to me. I just they said I'm a magnet for attraction of women. I'm
Hmm.
a magnet. I'm a what lady magnet. I'm a magnet for ladies. But unfortunately for me, sometimes the wrong ones can come across and really hurt you.
Interesting. Why do you think you're a magnet?
That's what they tell me. They tell me I'm a magnet because the thing is kind of weird. The way I take care of myself is how I treat women is very I treat them with respect.
Hmm.
But what they start to think is they start to think that it seems like to me when I'm outside, they all wave hi at me and they all really like me very much. I don't know. I came across it that it's like and then some women really like me so much that they want to talk to me and they want to share me whatever their information and stuff. It's pretty interesting. I was like, okay. So I did. So then I call them and stuff like that. I get along with them, and there's usually nothing major. As each hour goes.
So
You know,
do you think that these women that did actually do things to you, do you think that they were predatory, or do you have you figured out or been able to figure out, not that you need to, I just wonder why they were doing these things to you?
I didn't think it was abuse. I think it was just they just had a like for me. They just really liked me, but they didn't have to go that far. It's like that's how I see it. It's like they didn't have to go that far. What they did, they went that as far as they did, and I can't do anything about it. But can't change the past.
Right.
You just have to deal with it. I just hope I didn't hurt. I just hope I didn't father any kids from the whole thing. That's all.
Right.
That's all. And I just look at this and I'm just like, oh, it's shocking to a kid like you and a kid like me, 5 years old. It's shocking to a kid, but when I'm an adult, I still see the same thing happening to me sometimes, not all the time. But then I just control. I'm like, no, I just can't. I can't say anything about it. But it's like I, 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 I don't, I don't consider them predatory. I can just consider them very like into me.
Right. I think too, when you have all this inside and you don't really understand how you work, you just know that you're different from everybody else.
Absolutely.
And then these things happen in your life, and we don't know how to process it because to maybe the other person, it's no big thing, but to us, it's like a freaking, like a new planet was born. It's so
It
big.
was. It was. It was. It was like a new planet born. It was like a new thing. And I was just like when you have an overwhelming amount of things happening to you when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, you get an impression of life that's very different
Right.
than somebody that had a normal life.
Right. Well, and also people that aren't wired like we are. I always tell people it's not like you're a different species. It's just
No.
that the autism part of it makes you feel everything that much more, that much
Yes.
bigger. Is everything is on blast.
Yes.
And then you add schizoaffective disorder and other bipolar, and that just makes it on blast even more. And then how the hell do we like make that into something in our mind, like thoughts to actually be able to hold on to?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's why art became, I'm sure that's why art became so vital for you. So you've got all these years that you've been able to process your stuff through art.
Yes.
How do you feel now that you're in a safe place? You can process your art, it's appreciated, and people actually pay for it, and you have this peace. Like, how do you feel now in comparison to like how you felt 7 years ago?
Well, I thank God. I thank God that I'm in a place like this. I thank God that I'm in a good position in my life. Even my career, I don't really consider my career to be up and coming. I consider it just something like I'm like semi-retired. So I'm very happy about that. And the thing is, I thank God every day about it. Being here and being in a good situation, being out of the hospital for 4 years, being out of a very bad gallery that I was in for since 2010 till 2022.
Oh my
I
gosh,
thank
that's a
God.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah, 12 years on and off, and it was terrible. And I just thank God every day that I'm alive. I thank God for living.
Yeah.
I'm a Muslim. I believe in Allah, and that I call him God. I call him Allah, and I've never had any problems with these people in this nursing home. They respected my Muslim religion. They respected my views, and they respected where I come from.
What's the process for how you get into a new place?
Well, when you get into a new place, they have to, will you literally or just in your brain?
No, yeah, both. Like what do they
Oh,
do and what's going on with you?
well, here's the thing. When I get into a new place, some places, the bad places, you have optimism. You have a sense of optimism, but then it becomes pessimistic all the way.
Mm.
But if it's a good place, it's like a breath of fresh air.
I wonder why you had to like slog that long before you got to the good place. I know this happens. It's happened to me. I've been in places and been and then I look back and go, I can't believe that I was there for that long.
Yeah, I was at a periodic care building for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was at another place in Kankakee for 3 months. I was in a place called Albany Care for a year and a half. And those places were not the best. They were not the best places. And sometimes I used to have apartments at one time. I used to have an apartment, but it didn't work out because the staff the staff did not meet the expectations that I really wanted out of me getting this apartment. The staff did not meet my expectations. And so At the end of the day, getting into a new place like Intuit and getting into a new place like Lakefront Nursing Home, and even Sertoma Star Services. This is the other one where I donate raffle items to Sertoma Star Services. And I told you I graduated from Sertoma when I was in 2012. And what the time of the interview with Joseph Fasaro, believe it or not, I was about to enter Sertoma Center in 2019. But when I entered in 2019, I didn't feel like I needed to graduate again. I already graduated in 2012. But going into these new places, I always put my brain and my set with optimism first.
That's good. You're walking in hoping that it's going to work out well.
Yes.
Hmm. So do you have any help from family or anything that helps you move to these new spaces, or is it all you figuring it out?
It's me figuring it out, and my brother Amir, who is very cooperative and very nice. And he's not mean anymore, so that's a good thing. He's very cooperative. He's been providing me the supplies. He's been providing me the things that I need to get ahead. And he's been doing the monthly visits where we go out there, we see each other and a few other people, and we come across and we basically buy Burger King and stuff like that, and essential needs. He supports me. He's very supportive. He's
Good.
got three. He's got a third child on the way.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you guys are closer now.
Yes, because back then we used to be at odds with each other. I used to not approve of how his style is and stuff like that, but now I'm more content about it.
What about your parents?
My like I said in my first news, I think I said it. I'm not sure. My father died 15 years ago. My mother's still alive. She's 70.
Okay.
She's 70 years old, and she's not. She's a lot nicer than a lot than living with her is hard. But talking with her in the car is not that hard.
Okay, good. What do they think about? Does anyone else in your family produce art like you do?
No,
They got to be like, "Whoa, this
they're into computers. They're into computers, and I've repeatedly told my brother, "Did you see this art to be impressive enough? Sell it on a platform." He says no. He's not impressed. He thinks I could do better and better and better. He's hilarious. He wants me to go higher and higher and higher, but unfortunately, he'll never sell it on eBay. He will never sell it on eBay. You know the reason why he doesn't want to sell it on eBay. I'll show you why. I begged him constantly to sell my artwork on eBay because you know what? You never know. You can have some money on the side where in this facility I can best use it to my best ability. He didn't want to do it. He just doesn't want to do it because he doesn't trust the customers that are going on eBay. And the only problem he has is when they buy the work, he's just worried that they want a refund. That's all. I don't think they want a refund. They
No,
do.
I don't think so
Well,
either.
I don't think they would want a refund for my work. They probably want a refund for his broken car or something like that, but not my work.
Not for art. Yeah,
Not
exactly.
for art. They they'll see as exceptional, but sometimes the customers would ask questions like, "Is it a ACO, ACEO, ACOs, and stuff like that?" They don't ask the questions ahead of time. They ask them later. Then they find a reason for the return, and then you have to return it, and it's unfortunate.
You being able to do this and get this artwork out, it's got to be a trip for your family because they don't know where the hell this came from. And you're like, well, it came from my mind.
Came from my mind, yes. Came from my mind. And it's just hilarious. It just comes from my mind. The mandolins, the now like last week I started doing trains. And I like trains. Those trains are pretty good. I was like, those trains are very nice. I was like, oh yeah, I made my own tracks. I didn't make the tracks that they initially put on the train. I made my own tracks. And I made my own like subway rails and stuff like that.
You know what it is? It's because society, the way that everything looks at things from a financial perspective.
Yeah,
So it's like you create art and it's not enough that you actually create this gorgeous thing that now lives and breathes in the world. But then the next question is, where is it sold? How much have you sold? What's your social media? What's this? What's that? The world
exactly.
goes into that, and then it's like dilutes where the pure artistry is coming from.
Pure artistry is important. Art is important in life. Everything around you is art. Nobody
Exactly.
knows it. Nobody knows it, but everything around us is art.
So when you're walking around and you're getting inspiration, how are you getting inspiration for what you do? Is it strictly from your mind? Is it what you're viewing? I know it's a combination, but what's like the biggest piece that makes you go, I have to now do trains, for example?
Well, when I started doing trains, I always liked the talks that I had with my former coworkers about the system, the train systems. They talk about the coastal lines and all that, the Coastal, and some of the nonsense that they talk about. And I was like, oh, these guys are doing these grand trains. They're doing those big. They're doing the subways and stuff like that. And I've seen their pictures, and I feel like I can do the same thing, except I'm going to do it my way. And sometimes I stare at pictures on the wall. Like yesterday, I went to a doctor's appointment and I stared at this picture. I said, I got to draw this. I got to draw it just like that.
Hmm.
So when I went straight to the receptionist, I told her, now I'm going to draw like that because that way I'm going to draw. You know what she told me? When you come back in 6 months, let us know what happened. We want some of your work.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it is.
It shows you how art travels and how pure-hearted artists travel. They don't travel normal, they travel sideways.
Yes, they travel sideways. Yes.
Well, Mo, I'm so glad I know you and I want you to come on as many times as you want, okay?
Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. Yeah, but this is the thing. I'll show her samples of my work and see what I made out of that particular picture. It's like a silhouette in the sunset with a tree sticking out in the front. The tree is it's colored a silhouette black under some ground. It's pretty cool.
And you're taking a piece, you get inspiration, and you turn that into many other pieces of art, right?
Yes, I turn into many other pieces of art.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I know, I get it. I do the same thing. I'll start writing and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I could spin this off into this and I could spin it off over here and it ends up being like 10 pieces.
Yeah,
It's
that's the way
amazing.
it's going to be. And
Yeah.
guess what? When you sell it on into an art museum, they sell them in some certain areas or something. 10 will be sold. They'll sell 10 in 3 months
Wow.
or whatever. They'll sell 10 of those. And then my artwork is low prices. So I decided they're not pricing them very high, which I'm very happy about. I don't like it, my work priced high. So when these customers come in and you look at these bookmarks and you look at these buildings and you look at all these things, they they're happy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And there's a piece of you floating around out there somewhere
Yeah,
and you have no idea where.
absolutely. I bet you one thing. If I did this, if I've been donating to an art museum for 3 years now. If I do it for 100 years, and on average, I'm making 60 or 70 drawings, that's 7,000 drawings
Yeah.
that I just shelled out to this one museum so they can be in a good spot.
Wow. So how do you find out what's selling and what isn't? Do you go in there and meet with them or do they send you a report?
Oh, they say some stuff sold out, some stuff didn't.
Okay. So you just get like a phone call with an update on what's going on with it?
Yeah,
Nice. Very nice.
I sometimes do, and sometimes I don't, because sometimes they tell me something like some sales are weak, some sales are strong. There's some sales that are weak on that, and well, the ones with the names are weak. If you put the word into it on a bookmark, it doesn't really sell.
Yeah,
Only few-
people don't want anything that they think might be businessy.
exactly. So that's why you just draw out of the heart. You just draw the fantasy out of the heart.
Wow. I would say that you are a pure-hearted artist, Mo.
Thank you.
I
I am.
mean,
Thank you.
yeah. And this is what you're doing to regulate. Can you even imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have this as an outlet?
Well, I'd probably be. I wouldn't have as much. I wouldn't be on websites. I wouldn't be on TV, and I wouldn't be on radio, and I wouldn't be on. It would be like a different. I'd be probably playing video games.
Right. You'd find another way to regulate, but this gives you so much joy and purpose.
Yes.
How do people get to know you out in the world? I mean, how were you found that your art found? What happened there that suddenly think TV and radio and so on? How did people find out about you?
Well, they look at me online and they say some stuff, and they look at some segments. Some segments disappear. Some segments have disappeared, but I kept a low key approach to how people know me, which is important because if you don't want to expose yourself in front of too many people. You expose your work in front of too many people that will consider your work in a different way. I
Right.
kept a low key approach to it. So there's when you search my name, you won't see the television interview, but you'll see some of the articles, which is very important. It's very good. So they have updated, dramatically updated all of the stuff that I do, and they know I'm an artist at Intuit Art Museum. So that's good. That's a
Yeah,
good thing.
because there are artists out there that would be so like, why can't I get a gig like that?
Yeah, yeah. Why can't they? Well, here's the thing: you have to donate to them. You have to donate the artwork, and you have to not accept anything in return for it, which is important. The only thing you want to return is appreciation.
Right.
That's how it works.
Because you have your living and everything taken care of.
Yes,
Yeah. So you can donate. It's a whole different way to have art. It's really interesting. That's the same with these artists, a lot of them, in these other countries that are adopting this is let
yes,
artists get it out, like let them get it out and make sure they have enough to live on in order to do it.
yes, absolutely.
Support what they're doing. And without this outlet, I don't know, you could have been way, way, way more struggling in your mind.
Oh, absolutely. I would have been struggling. I would have been in a different nursing home. That's what I know. I would have been in a different nursing home. And I would not have liked my life in general.
All right, I want to ask you one last question. Tell me about and our listeners about what your life is now that you're in this safe space. And your work is out flowing in the world. Like, how do you feel now in your body and in your life?
Life is better. Life is better. My body feels better. I feel more confident. I feel much more confident about my future. I feel much more confident about my life. I trust Allah, so that's very important. I trust him. I've been trusting him for a long time, and he's been telling me good things.
Good. That means your mind is telling you good things too.
Yes, absolutely.
And how does that show up in your work?
Well, I draw it and see what it looks like, and if it looks good, I'll take it. But if it doesn't, I'll fix it. And I know how to fix things, so that's very important.
I love it. All right, what do you think about in terms of the future or because you don't have to do that or because that's where I'm at. I don't really think about the future too much. I just think about today. So where do you sit with that?
I think my future looks pretty good.
Nice.
I think my future looks pretty good.
And you feel that, which is the biggest
I
piece.
feel that. Yes, I feel like it's going to be a good way ahead.
Good. All right, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, you can find me with the link on the bottom. You look at Intuit Art Museum. You will look at Sertoma Star Services. Just talk about their program and stuff. They, we have the address to Intuit Art Museum. We have the address to Lakefront Nursing Home as well. It's the place that I'm staying. If you want to know more about Legacy or Lakefront Nursing Home, just feel free. And just put my name, just search my name on Google.
Yeah.
You'll see some weird stuff, some pretty cool stuff.
I know it's so funny that you say that. It's so weird to say that about your own art, but that's what it is.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Mo, I'm so glad that you reached out and that because it's funny, I don't know if I told you this or not, but your show in 2018 was the second highest rated show for the platform it was on.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my
Of
goodness.
all the shows, the number one was late diagnosed autism in women. That
Oh my
was the number
goodness.
one show, and yours was number two.
Number two. Yes, I love it. Achievement. That's an achievement.
It's so funny. It's so interesting because you're not what, and I neither am I, what society would say is someone that would be listened to or watched or whatever. And yet you come on a show and you don't know really what it's about. And then all of a sudden, after 20, I think it was 2019, was that when you were on?
2019. Yes.
Yeah, so from 2019 until 2026, or 2025, when I pulled the numbers for that show
Yes. They pulled
being
the
number
numbers for the
two,
show.
that's
Yes.
that's amazing. Find Mental Health News Radio on all major podcast platforms. To explore our full lineup of shows and hosts, visit mhnrnetwork.com or just Google Mental Health News Radio. We're all over the place. And be sure to check out our newest show, Lawn Chairs in Space, a different kind of conversation where we explore liminal, freeform discussions with voices in the neurodivergent community. You can also find us on YouTube, Insta, and TikTok at MHNR Network and Mental Health News Radio. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.